Hey everybody, Eric here. I know it's Friday. You've all been champing at the bit for 2 days to see what comic books I picked up, which I did pick up on Wednesday, but it's just been busy, busy, busy around here, working 12-hour days at work, or 11, 12 hours at work. They take out lunches. Every 6 hours, they take out half an hour for lunch, so you got to stay even longer. But anyway, so here we are. It's Friday. I'm finally getting to the comic books I picked up 2 days ago. Not a lot, but at least one really cool thing. But let's start off with, there's only a couple regular issues here. We've got Batman Beyond the White Knight, number 2, or book 2 as they call it. It's a Black Label, Sean Murphy. This whole series of mini-series has been fantastic. I love the artwork. I love the stories. An alternate take on Batman and the world of Gotham and everything. Been really, really cool. And there's a Red Hood series coming out in this world. I just saw in the new previews, which I did not put in this pile, but all the previews came out this week for once. All right, so the only other kind of floppy book is Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 2 from IDW, written by Cullen Bunn. So it's a twofer for me. I'm going to pick up Godzilla. I'm going to pick up Cullen Bunn. I think I talked about this when the first issue came out. Cullen Bunn I like to get every month. Whatever book he has out, I like to get the monthlies. Godzilla, I normally get the trade paperbacks, but got to get it because it's Cullen Bunn. And when the trade comes out, I'll get that and give these to my nephew. Then we have, finally, 18 months, all leading up to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, number 5 from IDW. It was supposed to be every other month. It was going to come out, so 10 months, around a year, but 18 months between the first issue and the final issue, so I could finally see what happens. And then we have Rogues, book 2. This is a Black Label. I really dig that cover. One of the oversized Black Label books. I think this is probably a 3-issue series. All the Flash Rogues gallery in sort of an adult story. All right, so that's it for regular books. Then we have The Department of Truth, Volume 3, Free Country. This is from Image Comics, and it reprints issues 6 and 7, and then 14 through 17. Volume 2 has 8 through 13, because I guess 6 and 7 might be like an interstitial story, a little story on its own, maybe a flashback. I don't know, because I haven't read them. But it didn't fit. Whatever the reasoning. At this point, I have all 3 volumes, which is 1 through 17. This is just a crazy, crazy book. If you're into conspiracy theories, I mean, one of the main characters is Lee Harvey Oswald. And it's just wild and deals with basically, if enough people believe something, it will become real, and the Department of Truth allegedly is set up to keep these things from becoming true. Like, if enough people believe it, the Earth will literally become a flat Earth. So they're trying to prevent that sort of thing. But any and every conspiracy you can think of. Really, really good story. Then we have Phoenix Song Echo from Marvel. And this is by Rebecca Roanhorse is the writer. This is issues 1 through 5 of the miniseries. Spoilers. The character Echo is the host of the Phoenix Force at this point. Echo, great character. Originally appeared in Daredevil. Spoilers again, she was the original Ronin, which I figured out. because I noticed that anytime people would talk to Ronan, Ronan would only respond when they were looking at someone who wasn't wearing a mask, or at least a full face mask. Like it seemed like Ronan, I keep saying Ronan because we didn't know that it was a female at the time, be like looking at Iron Man with his full mask on, or Spider-Man, and it seemed like Ronan was being rude because they wouldn't respond. Well, it's because they're deaf. They had to read lips. And I noticed that, figured it out. And then, of course, Ronan was Echo was on the Hawkeye TV show. Really great performance. So it's a character I like, and this comes out of a storyline in the Avengers. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. And then here's my big fancy book. Hardback. It's got one of those fancy ribbon bookmark, page mark things, whatever you call it. This is Lock and Key, The Golden Age. It's from IDW. It's, of course, written by Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez on art. Some of the art, all of the art, I'm not exactly sure because this has a bunch of different stuff in it. So what does this say? 3 prequel short stories, Small World, Open the Moon, and Collected for the First Time, Face the Music. And then there's a little mini-series in Pale Battalions Go. And then it crosses over with Neil Gaiman's Sandman in Hell and Gone. So I have a box set of all the other Lock and Key stuff. So I'm excited to dig into this beautiful, nice hardback book. So that's it. Not a lot of stuff, a lot of money. But that's all I picked up this week. And next week's even just tiny, like $30 worth of stuff, which is not a lot. All right, so you know what? Let's see. I don't know if I've asked this question before. I know I've asked about like favorite heroes, favorite villains, but I'm going to go with what is your favorite rogues gallery? Since we have the rogues there. Now, I can tell you the top 2, unequivocally, I don't think anybody could reasonably argue that these aren't the top 2 rogues galleries amongst all comic book fans. Statistically speaking, you know, there are people that wouldn't necessarily pick either one of these, but, you know, the majority of people, you're going to end up with Batman's Rogues Gallery and Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Those are the top 2. My personal favorite, Spider-Man's. I think Batman's probably would take the number 1 spot in the world. So many iconic characters, but I just like Spider-Man's better. One of my favorite villains of all time is the Lizard. It's a man-sized lizard in a lab coat. What's not to love? And just fun characters like the Rhino and the Vulture, or Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and I'm just naming all the classics: Electro, Sandman, and then of course you got, well, is Venom really part of his rogues gallery nowadays? I don't know. Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, Spider-Man's is definitely my favorite. I had this discussion with somebody at work, and like, I personally don't think Superman has a very good rogues gallery at all. You know, he's got very few iconic characters, but overall, especially if you compare it to Spider-Man, Batman, Superman's villains are lame. Flash does have a great rogues gallery. The Rogues and others. But Fantastic Four, you know, they have a few. Captain America has a few. Iron Man, I could name tons of villains he fights, because I've read tons and tons of Iron Man, but his gallery just doesn't compare to Spider-Man or Batman. So my number one is Spider-Man. What's yours? What's your favorite villain group? You don't have to stick with DC or Marvel. You can pick any other rogues gallery from any other comic. If you're a fan of Astro City, I don't know if any of the characters there have a rogues gallery. I don't know, or Invincible, or anyone you can think of. But Spider-Man's mine. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. I don't know what we'd spoil because, again, didn't really talk about anything specific. But if we are going to spoil anything, put a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH5757. That's all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more comic books.